Yeah. I put that text on the web page.
Okay, great. Yeah. All the last minute.
Yes. You
That's
love.
Oh, what about this? Yeah, what about this?
Yeah. What about this? No, it was good. It's good. It's okay. It's okay.
So you've got the web page. You can be routine master. You can keep us on track.
Okay. Yep.
Is that what
Yep.
this is?
Yep. This is what that is. Yep. Yep. And so, what I thought we'd do is,
Sorry,
well,
can
I
just
know
make
you've
a
got-
comment that your matching jumper combo thing there is very gorgeous. I really like it, Mark and Jane.
Me or
Very
her?
nice. Both of you. You
yeah.
just, it's lovely.
Ruth
Sorry,
is
I
great.
digress.
That's great.
Okay. Hang on, I've got something.
Completely.
Oh, here's Ruth. For Alan.
Hello,
You're on the computer, are you?
I am on the computer handily. Yes.
And it's all cleaned out all the pipes by this.
Yes, it has indeed cleaned out the pipes. It's all good. But it was really bad earlier. It was making me jump.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start. We are going to review Cagford, CAGFD.
Who's doing that?
You are,
Oh,
yes,
great. Good.
but not for long.
Okay.
And I don't. We've got Kathy Wellsford's handout, but I was actually thinking that you might want to talk to the other handout that we've got for that,
Oh, that's the ukulele chord forms. Who's the noisy one, Ruth?
because
Sorry.
Alan, I've got you muted.
and then Sam.
Oh yes, the
Some
ukulele.
exciting things, haven't we? We've got
We've got so much.
Montuno.
Yeah. Shall we?
Pretty
Would you
fun.
like to start with sway and the diminished stuff, or do you then after that, or would you like to go into the Montuno first and then the diminished?
Yeah.
So it's up to you, whatever you want.
Maybe the Montuno might be a bit more user friendly to start with.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
so.
I'm not. It may not.
Yeah. Now I've got myself a little clave rhythm here because
Yeah.
I just to keep
Because you can play, can't you? And we can play.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Whereas you can't because of your internet. Although I don't know, it might.
I mean, I can play along with that, but it's more fun if you play. But
Well, it's actually about the fact that your internet does
I've actually
that
using
with
my.
speed.
I'm actually using. I'll try something else tonight. So let me.
Okay,
know
well, let's
if that-
try you leading, and if it doesn't work, I've got.
But I reckon it's
I can-
nice if you play and we play along with you. You know, for
Yeah,
things anyway.
I think it's nice if you lead and I play along with you. and then we're going. We'll start with the Montuno after Mark's done Cagford. Then
Yeah,
we'll go
okay.
into the diminished stuff, and then I've got. Oh, we've also got Love Me Tender. So I thought we might go to Love Me Tender actually soon after that. I don't know. Do you want to put that last or second? I was thinking we might.
We'll see how grueling it gets with the Montuno and the.
Yeah.
If people got the eyes start kind of glazing over, we'll see.
Right on. Because I think I don't mean to speak for Sam. Sam's got all these nice little tricks up his sleeve for us tonight. But we're also thinking about maybe just becoming more familiar with Cagford, which Sam does all the time in his improvisations. He's always chucking those chords in. So I thought if we looked at Cagford and then Sam teaches us about the Montuno little trick and the diminished stuff, like.
You didn't do Cagford now.
But you're doing Cagford.
And like
now.
Cagford, it'll be like we can keep referring to it
Exactly.
tonight, especially during sway, and it'll kind of all link
Exactly.
in quite well.
Yeah, that's
So-
totally. Especially if we went to your, if we did go to your Love Me Tender or Mac the Knife second page, and
Yeah,
So
that company.
just, I don't think. Who does not know
that is what we're going to be talking to.
that
He's going to be.
you don't know the term Cagford? You don't know where that comes from? Bronwyn, I'm looking at you. You don't know? Yeah, you've got to say, please. It's a term pretty much from Bosco and Honey. So years ago we got it, but it's after the guitar formula of caged, and what it means, it's just about how you play the same chord in different places up the neck. You know how to do that, Bronwyn?
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alistair,
yeah, he does.
do you,
too.
you know how to so could we all please play a C chord as an F shape. Make an F shape and play a C chord. And where are you going to do it? I would like to see your necks, please.
Shit, I'm not sure how I know how to do this, guys.
Sam, hey, don't swear. Oh, you don't know what it is, Sam. You don't know. You put your neck up, Sam.
What did
Thank
you say? A C chord in an F shape.
Yeah, an F
Okay.
shape.
Yeah, I'm thinking of guitar, but it's still
Good. And I can see Chris Robinson, Alistair,
John.
Beck, John. Yeah, just copy people. So everybody knows what that means. And I can't see Bronwyn's. Bronwyn, have you got that? Bronwyn. Yeah? Okay. Now, so you're doing a C chord as an F shape, right? Now can you do a C chord as a G shape? That's incorrect, Chris. Chris, wait. That's wrong. I think. Oh, or is it? Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I think Beck's got it, haven't you? Beck's trying to get it. She still can't decide which fingers. Yeah, Janine? Yeah, you got it? Yeah. Okay, but you haven't got the full G shape there, Diane Murray.
Whoever plays that.
Whoever does, that's exactly right. Yeah, you would do an F shape. You'd do an F shape to instead, because that G shape. But you might. So the shapes are now. How does the Cagford happen?
Do you want the
So-
note? And
No,
now
no,
do you
no,
wanna
no.
talk to Kathy's notes? Kathy's got
No. So there's a C, right, as a C shape. But you can also do a C. The next one is an A shape. Can you all please do an A shape, a C chord as an A shape? Can you? Which is what we would often call a B flat shape, right? But it's actually an A shape. Is this making sense, Bronwyn? Yeah, and that's so then the G shape, and notice that most of them connect up. There's a C as a C shape, and then you connect it up. The CAG, there's an A shape, and then the next connecting up point is here. So as a G shape, there's always some connecting point, common point, and then CAG, and then foot. There's the fud, and then there's the D shape. Ooh, where's that? I guess it's what's a D shape? Yeah, it's. I don't think that one joins up, and I haven't got any dots on my neck.
It doesn't.
Which
join
is
up.
that's a pain. You can't really do it as well. It's a bit like who does that, Ruth, as well. So hence Cagford. So you've got these formulas. So if you want to start with an A chord, then you're on Cagford. So A, you've got your A. Cag. Where's a G shape doing an A? There it is there. So I think that's enough, because I think everybody understands those basic principles. The more you know about... So Trish has had lots of lessons on this, and in class, Trish Collins never will play a standard chord because she's always practicing her chord inversions. So these are just different ways of playing the same chord. And if you play them up the neck, then that's going to different. If you're in a orchestra, that is going to differentiate the sound of the orchestra and make it broader and more lovely. And it's exactly the criticism that James Hill gave us when he gave us a masterclass for the orchestra. He said, that's great, sounds really great with Rhiannon, but why is everybody playing an A minor there? Why aren't some people playing A minor here? You know, to give it a different sound, to broaden out the scope. But when you're soloing, when you're improvising, you want to know all those different positions, so it gives you a shortcut to improvising. And I think I've said enough there.
Hey, I was just going to, in terms of improvising, they're so kind of important, all those different inversions, because if you've got, for each shape, if you have one little kind of trick, like a little thing you can do, then if you kind of multiply that by 5, you only need a few little tricks for each shape, and you've got all this stuff,
So can I do that? So
yeah.
What I often will do is, so if I'm playing, right, there's my C shape. But
Yeah.
then if I'm on an A shape, I know what those.
Yeah.
I know what the sympathetic notes are, and then I'm on my. Yeah, right. Yeah. So
So
exactly
you
what
just
said.
build up your little tricks for each shape, and they're kind of arpeggios, but the more notes you add in, they kind of get towards scales.
Yes.
Whether they are or not, who cares? But they're
And
just
we
little-
know those in the home position.
Yeah.
Like we know.
Yeah.
So there's F. So if you know that down there, then you know it up here as well, but you might just have to
Exactly,
use
yeah.
different fingers.
And each shape kind of lends itself to different. There's ones that sound nice in each shape, right? The same ones don't sound good in every shape, so that gives you more options in a way.
And I really like how you were saying in C-Jam blues, and you were saying, well, like there's a C9, but it's like you said, it's too fruity. I think that's the expression that you said. It's too fruity. But
To
whereas
start
the
the song, yeah.
the F9 and the
Yeah.
G9 is really good. Trish, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was. For those of us who have some arthritis or you're running really quick chords, just remember to play the bottom 3 strings. And I do that all the time because you've got quick changes. You can't always get your 4 fingers on. Yeah. And up the neck, I do it often. It makes it so much easier.
And you've got more fingers. Well, at least you've probably got your little finger available to do some more frilly stuff there too.
Yeah, I use my little finger all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just want to point that out to make it easier for yourselves.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Trish.
yeah.
That's true.
You don't do anything that's hard. That's my motto. Practice a bit. If it's too hard, forget it. Should we go into?
I just want to
go.
talk you through the sheet. Sorry. So you've got the Cagford, which is I think actually Kathy Welsford's handout. It's called Cagford Can't Always Get Fresh Donuts, but I really like this sheet, and you might want to just keep it as a reference because it's got a lot more information on it about your chords.
We dug it up from the internet years ago. I don't know.
It's got where you find your root note in that chord shape, which is quite useful.
Yes, that is really useful.
Yeah, so if you look at that sheet, it's got some notes labelled R, and that's telling you your root.
Your third
and then
and
it's
your
got
fifth.
the third and your
And
fifth.
your seventh.
And
Or
so
your
that's
flat and
really
third.
handy to know which are what sometimes, just in your shapes. So for instance, and you find your favourites like I'm starting to use the second one along quite a bit these days.
Oh, you like that one, the D
Yeah,
shape.
yeah, and
Yucky.
yeah, and other people, yeah, exactly. So you find your faves, and like for instance, I'm noticing that Sam. I'm trying to find the shape that he uses. He uses really hard ones. He uses the minor shape, the fourth one along. Ouch.
And
So-
Ruth has just put up something as well in the chat. So let's just have a look at that. Oh, it's going to put it in some nasty spot.
It's movable chords. So
2 pages.
I can actually, what I'll do at the end of this class is I'll put that up on the web page and everybody can look at it pretty easily, because I think with the chat you lose it after the class is finished. So
Yep.
just that'll do.
There
Can
it
we?
is there.
Yeah.
I just want to have a look at it.
Oh,
'cause,
sorry.
Right, and is that yours, Ruth, or shall I share that? Or no, you can have a look at it later. I think might be the better thing.
It's a good one too, and it's just more of the same stuff. It just depends on how you like to read a chart.
Where's that from, Ruth?
An outfit called the Ukulele Shack, but I can't remember exactly where I got it, but that's probably it. It's just I thought I'd chuck it in because it's got a few chords which are not on your excellent one, and I'm sorry, I should have just done it later rather than interrupt. I apologise, Jane.
No, not at all. I
fine.
think it's
Doesn't
good to
matter.
bring that stuff up. We just won't. Yeah.
Because part of your homework today is for everybody to incorporate more chords up, not necessarily up the neck, but more closed chords on your improvs.
There were
That's
some
your
great
homework.
chords in the Mac the Knife solos.
There wasn't there?
All the one, yeah, really good.
yeah.
Just people adding in groovy chords.
Everybody seemed to be already incorporating chords, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'm not
But-
sure if I need to make the homework harder or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
Not allowed to play chords
not allowed.
or notes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just
Or
drums.
play the.
So I thought we could. What I was thinking with this is that maybe we do da 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 da. What is that song again?
Love Me Tender. Aura Lee. Isn't it Aura Lee?
Love Me
yeah.
Tender.
Yeah.
We could try and do Love Me Tender, but actually do it as a chord song, not as a melody song. And Sam's got it written out already. You don't have to. Here, a good piece of advice: you don't have to use Sam's chords. Some of them are shockers. They sound good, but oh my God, that bloody D7 of yours, torture.
What,
But,
3/8?
This one.
It's a
Five,
D9,
four,
isn't
two,
it, actually?
five.
it is. Yeah. Like, can I
Yes.
have a minute to justify my chords?
Yeah, you better try hard.
Well, like you've got a choice of doing this, like in the bridge. You've got a choice of or that one, but I like that one, and that's got the ninth in it. So and that so that's and ninth or seventh. They're kind of interchangeable. Like if you see a seventh and you play a ninth, it's just a ninth is a little bit more fruity, as we say. So, but yeah, you don't have to kind of stick to the seventh rule all the time. But, sorry, you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm interrupting your flow, but I will.
No.
I was thinking today, actually, I was going to suggest it in your class, but I didn't. That I imagine that it's a really good exercise if you know a melody really well. And yeah, so like if we've got like if you play the chord and you say, well, all of the notes are really in close proximity to the chord that you're playing for that, all of the notes for the melody. But then if you did that as a chord inversion, find that melody in a different chord inversion. My uke is sitting a bit, Mark. What does that mean, Ruth? Use your word.
Distorting.
Oh,
right.
distorting. I'm too loud.
That's just the way it plays it.
Or is it disrobing?
Actually, we've got it cooking pretty high. Sorry.
Righto. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah.
What's
So
this?
try and do melodies in the different inversions. Like stick on that chord.
Well, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I was saying. That we could try Love Me Tender
But
because
that was my idea, just then. It was an original idea.
No, I just had said it just before you, though. Oh dear. Hey, I just thought we could try in this song. Sam, just give us I think you should give us a run through part A twice, part B once of what you do on this song.
But basically, all I'm doing you just on the first beat of the bar, you're playing a chord, like rather than just a single note, or whenever the chord changes, you're kind of playing a chord to support the melody. If you could play at every note, but you'd end up with kind of very kind of like heavy. It's where if you just do one each bar, it's a bit more like a harp. Better just see I'm playing the right thing. And so here we double up the chords because they change a bit more.
What do you mean double up the timing?
Well, we're doing like two in a bar because we're going.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, no.
And then this one's a bit. this one was tricky because you got to play F minor, but you got to get your finger. So you could go, but that's way too annoying. So I just only play like Trish said, just play 3 strings on the F minor. I like this chord. So that's actually an A7 augmented to an A7. Then that shape that I've used about 4 times already. So yeah, just kind of adding to the melody with some pretty chords.
Your speed's not varying tonight. Yay.
I'm using, like, my phone's got really. I'm using my phone. I'm tethering off my phone.
Can you play that a
Yeah.
lot slower?
Yeah.
And we play along with you with
Yeah,
some
okay.
chord shapes up the neck. But you need to play it a lot slower. It has to
Okay.
be like da 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 da.
Okay. Yeah.
Like really slow, so that we can either manage your shapes or manage the shapes that we know or that we like to use.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah? And that's our Cagford exercise, done and dusted.
Sorry, and can I just play the dumb student here, representing Beck Regalo mostly? Can you turn around, Sam, so that we can see your left hand
Yeah,
fingers?
I was thinking that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So I just want to ask the dumb question of probably both of you. This is an arrangement. You're giving us a really nice chordal arrangement here. What's the relevance of it to progressing our improvisational skills?
That's a good question.
Because what we're doing is we're kind of getting to really know the harmony behind the. So first you learn the melody, then you learn the kind of structure, or the melody added with the chords.
It's sympathetic notes that go with the melody.
Yeah, well that's right. Yeah, because if you know those chord, you can kind of just use those chord tones for your impro, like. That kind of. If you've got your chords down, you kind of. The chords are only like that far away from a scale, so. And this is not like a scaly kind of song. It's a, you know what I mean? It's not a. It's more just a.
And I've got another dumb question that I think I know the answer to, but I think it needs to be asked. Why do we bother with chords up the neck with this stuff when we've got it all in the home position?
Actually, that's a good, because basically we're bound by the melody. Like wherever the melody goes, the chord has to. So the melody's. So I mean, we could go, but who wants to do that? Like we could go. That would be our other option. That but it's stretchy, or we could go. So there's always different options when you. I mean, it's great when the melody note's on that high string, because then you've got 3 notes to support it. So that's we're. So it's just a matter of so I've got to find a D7 chord that note's the top of. So there's probably about 2 or 3 that you could use.
And I also like the fact that when we use closed position chords, we're doing chord inversions. That is, we've switched all the notes around of our chord, and so it gives us another quality of tone,
But that also gives you the option of playing the highest note being the melody. So if one inversion doesn't give you the highest note being the melody, then another inversion will, which is what you were saying.
Actually,
John,
a classic.
you wanted to say something?
Go, John. Yeah.
I actually just wanted to ask Sam, what with the chords you've chosen, I don't want to like jump down a rabbit hole or anything, but like, what would make you particularly choose like a 6 chord or a 9 chord over another extension?
Like a 9's it's like a little upgrade of a 7th. So you know, sometimes sometimes it can be, you know, it's, you know, in certain situations it could be too much, but in a jazzy kind of, you know, it'll steer it towards that kind of sweet jazzy sound. But if you wanted a more kind of, if it was a more, in a more kind of hymn setting, you'd probably just do a straight seventh. But so the kind of more nines and 11, you know, the higher up those, the more kind of coloured the chords become.
And become more of a bad boy. If you're doing the metaphor of the church, then
That's
the
right.
nine
Yeah, and
is
sometimes
the
you want that
bad
sound,
boy.
but there's some songs where they don't fit at all. So it's just kind of a matter of taste, really. But I was just going to say,
the
would it,
ninth is lifting the root up.
That, Chris?
Is it that the ninth is lifting the root sound up?
yeah, well, the ninth is, yeah, it's kind of the
just
root
you know, you've got that root
above
for
the
the
root,
chord, and
up
then
an
you're just
octave,
lifting up
kind
from
of.
it.
Yeah. What's kind of interesting about that inversion of it, where we do it, I think I do it as D7 and E7. The ninth, you've actually got a root on top of the ninth, but it's I don't know, it sounds, I like the sound of it. Especially if you've got a bass, it's with a bass note or a guitar note chord behind it, it really,
So,
but it is pretty fruity.
but Chris, I wouldn't call it. I mean, I feel like we're about to get into federal
Yeah,
parliament.
I'm gonna cut
Yeah,
you
no,
both
forget
off
it.
actually.
Yeah.
So, so what we're gonna do now?
The Minister
is Sam,
for
We'll take this.
we're going to now. Sam's going to lead us in "Love Me Tender," and we're going to play along super slow. Sam, like I said, two of
Hey, just one very last thing that hopefully relate to what
Yeah, go
Mark
on.
said. When you get to the second bit, that's where you kind of Cagford really comes in handy, because so the love me tender, like, so the melody's on that 7th fret. So there's actually, you've already played two options that would work there. So you could do the what are we calling that shape? That's a G. You could do a G shape. That gives you that 7th fret note on top. Or you could do the F1. That gives you the. Does that make sense? Because that's what you were doing. That's the chords you went through, Mark, wasn't it? Like,
Yes.
so whatever shape gives us that B note on the top.
That's that third line, Sam.
Yeah, third line.
Part B.
But
yeah.
I'm actually ruining it all, and I'm using a 6 chords, which is
That's okay.
that's about. But yeah, so but there's always options. There's no kind of right. You know, you could actually just play it half open, like, or you could play it like in the A shape with a. They all just got kind of different sounds.
Okay, so we're
There's
going to play.
no way any of us are going to get this tonight. So
No,
yeah.
yeah,
That's good,
these
yeah.
are really tough shapes, guys. But at the same time, we don't have to use his
Well,
shapes. You all
no.
know an A7 up the neck. You all know.
Yeah,
D7.
and that's the thing is
Yeah,
fine.
you
Like
can do
when I
whatever
was
you want.
working it out, I didn't know
Yeah.
which one to choose. I just picked one,
Yeah.
and
So we're just going to play, but Sam's going to play slowly enough so that we can keep up with him. So I'm going to mute us. Sam's going to count us in, and we're
Okay.
going to play along with you. 2A, 1B.
1 and 2, 3, 4. everyone go.
Can I have a different partner?
What's that?
No,
I should have heard what he was playing.
I was playing.
It was so random.
No, I was playing really nice things that I heard in my ear, and she was just clunking all over the place, trying to play it by the rules.
It was just interpretation.
But it's a,
Hilarious.
it's a great thing to
There are
do
no
on-
wrong notes. There's only jazz.
What I was thinking was, like, Jane applies herself to learning the technique, and I go, stuff that I'm just going to go with what I can feel and
Impulse.
hear. But I can see that if you learn the technique, then that informs what you feel and hear, how you answer your feelings. And I think that's a good lesson.
That'll do us, okay? We'll leave it there, folks.
But,
Sam? Sorry,
Sorry?
Sam, can I just ask what the last
Yeah.
two chords you played on the G7 when you went up? La da da.
Oh,
da,
yeah.
da.
I
What were
went-
those chords? Number are you playing?
I
Come
did
on.
a D7.
Out with it.
I did. It's like 4, 5, 4, 7. It's actually it's a D7. What is it? A G7 flat 9.
Nice.
Actually, a G13.
What's the next
flat
chord?
9. And then
He's frozen. We've lost him.
Okay.
Sam,
He's just deep in thought.
All right.
oh no, Sam, he's very
Oh,
dark
darn,
too.
he's frozen. Sam, you're frozen right now. Great.
The aliens have finally invaded Melbourne.
So what we're going to do now is everybody go to your Montuno picking pattern. He'll come back in a moment. That's so funny. And we're going to Montuno.
It's like a scene from Maxwell
Oh, here.
Smart.
Oh no, he's not with us yet. And also you might want to have Sway handy, but if you've got your Montuno,
Yeah, he's gone.
he's
He'll be
gone.
back.
He'll have to come back. Okay. So I can lead this for a little while. I can lead this, but the problem is, I can lead it, but I don't know the good stuff that Sam knows. So, but we can manage it for a while. So, the Montuno picking pattern. It's a beautiful Cuban rhythm, and otherwise, the Americans call it salsa, but actually in Cuba they call it son. Hello, Sam.
It's funny. I was talking, and then I thought everyone looks really bored with this. And then everyone was frozen.
So what I've got.
And sorry, Sam, can I just also, you're just a little tad dark. I don't know if you can fix that.
Oh,
Does anybody else sort of feel that? You know, just sometimes the contrast isn't great.
yeah. Right.
So what I've got people doing is opening up your Montuno picking pattern.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. So do you want to take it, Sam? You might as well
I
because
guess so.
depending on whether your internet's good enough or not.
No, that Sam, you're not going to do
that's
that.
ghostly. You're just giving yourself. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I won't worry. But I'd have to get behind the camera. Oh, I could just go to the webcams. It's better.
No, don't worry about it, Sam. It's all right.
No,
it's
it's
not
fine.
that big a deal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
We'll get.
thank you, Janine.
All right, Montuno. I'm not sure how the idea came to this, but anyway,
Neither do I.
they are fun. Now,
I am
I'll
going
just
to
play
ask
what.
the same question though. What's the relevance to improvisation?
Well, these are a Montuno is basically an arpeggio, but like it's typically played by piano players in kind of Latin and salsa band, and they do these great things. Well, they play it in like about 3 octaves, so it's a little bit unfair for us to recreate that. But you know, the one we'll learn is basically a straight arpeggio. They kind of do that and then add all this other stuff in as well, which scale notes. So they're a great kind of platform to improvise off.
Could you just play a brief phrase now?
I'll
so we
play, like I
understand?
want to do, I'll play the kind of the pattern. So we're going to end up, so we're kind of over the first bit of sway, if you think. So we've got. So that doing the straight pattern here and there, and then, but yeah, it's easy just to launch off, add in little, well, particularly the diminished scale.
It's a before we go there, Sam, it's a platform off which you can launch, I think is what you're saying, your other improvisational like tidbits that you might add. Because even when you strayed from, you kept coming ba do do da ba do do da ba do da. You were always coming back to that until you didn't. But by that time, it was established in my head that it was da do da da da. Oh, look, he's up there now. And you didn't actually play it, but it was still there in my head. So you'd cemented that enough in my imagination as a listener.
And kind of exactly what we did with those blues riffs where you're just taking that melody and adding notes, like you can do, well, it probably was doing the same. But yes. So you go. So I think, basically playing the same rhythm, but just change it, get comfy with the straight montuno first, and then just, like we did with Autumn Leaves, you just pinch that rhythm. Look, I think I kind of broke it down into the rhythm first, and then just kept adding in notes till we ended up with the full thing. But it's fun. So I'm not sure whether it's easy to play it, just bits of it, or whether it's easy to go straight to the kind of horse's mouth. But
I think you should actually just go through that picking pattern because it's a great build.
Yeah.
You start with that lovely clapping rhythm, then the one note, then
let's clap the rhythm. Yeah. So basically, there's 2 on beats, and all the rest are off. You get 2 on beats up the front, and everything else is off the beat. So it's like it goes 1, 2, and then all the rest are and till you kind of loop back to the to the second bar. So if I count and just clap, should we clap along? It is weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. Has any luck there? It is odd.
It's a bit fast. That pace is a bit fast for Zoom.
It's funny because it's.
If we were in a room, it'd be fine, but in Zoom, because we can't see your hand,
it goes a bit,
yeah, and so it's a little fast for Zoom.
Okay, we'll try it a bit slow. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and. It's funny too. It's quite hard without a reference beat. Like really, it'd be good if you had someone just tapping the on beats, then you can feel where the off beat is more. It's a bit hard, which is kind of why I made that nerdy practice thing, because you can kind of really practice along with it.
I've got my metronome set up for a clave. If you set up something there at home for you to be your backing beat.
Oh yeah, so you can
just something that does a clave or something that does
like
a
a click
or whatever you need. Then if you've got that behind you, then that'll give people a reference.
That's too slow, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I just.
Can you hear that horrible sound?
Yep.
It's horrible. What a horrible sound. Why is it so awful?
There's a little bit of farty noise as well.
It's just kind of. Look, why don't we just, it actually gets
Shall we
easy. The
do-
more notes you add in, the
Yeah.
kind of easier it is. It's hard when you just But so
No, two notes.
the
Two notes.
first. Well, we'll go. Oh, what's the first?
Oh, sorry, the one
Let's
note.
do one note. So one note's we're just doing that rhythm but we're playing it rather than. So I'll just play it slowly and just join in when you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The best way to know if you're doing an offbeat right is if you tap your foot on the beat, and you know the note's got to not line up with the foot. Should we go to two notes? It can't. So we've got a. Oh, everyone's got the sheet, haven't they? Yeah. So. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I could actually use the backing track of Sway. That might actually.
Diane Murray.
Did
are
that
you
feel a
okay
bit easier with the X? Oh, was someone asking something?
Oh no, I was just asking, just checking in. Di seems to be looking in a way that might be perplexed. I'm not sure. Is it you okay, Di? Yeah, good. Okay.
Oh, that sounds
But-
good.
Anybody else? We're all okay.
It actually, yeah, it does get easier the more notes. I'll try it once with the backing, just see if that's easier. So two notes again. 2, 3, 4. That any good with the backing? Yeah, okay. Great, yeah. So it's going. Let's go for 3 notes, and I think this is where it starts to kind of make a bit more sense. 'Cause it's a bit torturous, kind of just trying to. Am I on the beat? Am I off the beat? Ugh. Believe me, I was trying to record it. I was going. What the hell? Okay, so let's go. So we're going for 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did that feel? Yeah?
Is there a particular fingering that makes it easier to swap those notes in and out?
I was going to ask that.
In the right, yeah, in the right hand, in the left hand.
Left hand.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, there is. Anyway,
Tune in next week.
I don't, yeah, I think I was. I'm going 1 and 2 for the B7, and then adding the third finger on for the little extended note. But yeah, the next one's a bit awkward. You got to swap, going and then swapping 2 and 3 around. Yeah, a little bit awkward. All right, we're ready to go for the arpeggio now. So we're actually only adding one note, but it sounds like it just kind of completes the pattern.
Add extra chord tone.
Hey, that's the one, yeah. And for some reason, I find this easy to do with my thumb, because you just kind of like, if you do it with fingers, it's kind of harder to get them all even. But I mean, it's the kind of thing that, you know, guitarists would do with their fingers. But all right, should we have a go at number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we got to the bridge.
Sam, that's too fast. If we could slow that down for folk.
Okay, that I'm just using the actually.
Yeah.
If I use the eye reel,
Yeah, slow it down a tad, because for people that haven't seen it before, some people haven't had the time to look at this stuff.
no, well, I mean, yeah, no one's meant to get it tonight.
Yeah,
It's kind of
true.
it's more.
And you're not referring to any sort of motor races there, are you? It's their fingers. F1,
Oh
F2.
no, Mark, that's my notes.
Oh, that's James.
So I've got finger numbers down on mine to help me out. So that first one,
Yeah.
I'm actually barring, putting my first finger over 2 strings, and the other one I'm just using the E minor shape. But my first finger has to go from the 2nd to the 3rd fret to accommodate
Oh
the
yeah.
notes on the A string. But that's
So that's not on anybody else's.
no.
And what about the accents?
The accents are there.
Yeah, so those accents are important, aren't they, Sam?
Yeah, they just kind of they just kind of give it a bit of. They kind of help you keep it in place, I guess. But yeah, sorry, we'll do it a lot slow. I'll just test the speed out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. And you know what you could do just to make it a bit like it's a bit of a mouthful. You could just do the first bit. You just start with. Just do the first half, and then gradually fill in the. Do you want to do it? Should we just try it once like that? Just doing the. If anyone wants, yeah. If it's a bit of a handful. One, 2, 3, 4. So that's probably a better way to practice it rather than the kind of, the one note and the two note, just because you kind of, you're halfway there. And yeah, just really, because I've put that video on YouTube, so you can the practice one, so you can slow it down to like half speed or quarter speed. So hopefully that'll. But yeah, it's not something you meant to get straight away. Just for next week, that's all.
So
I'm interested to know if John has actually got that completely down pat. Could you
Go, John. Yeah, let's
go,
Do you want me
John?
to have a go at it? Uh,
Faster.
faster?
okay, that's enough.
Yeah. Hey, that's
Faster, faster.
great. And
I can't do that.
And for John, there's one. The very last one's kind of exactly the same. It's just we go. Oh. You kind of had a double high note in there, so it just gives it a little bit more.
B's not tied.
Yeah, we get rid of one of the ties,
Okay.
and it really kicks it, especially. Really kind of kicks it along nicely. And when you're comfy with those, if you add your caged to that, then you get Cagford. You get all those possibilities, So double value, Montunos plus Cagford.
And a free set of steak knives.
Is sign up now. Has anyone got any questions on that mess?
Well, assume that kind of stuff you're talking about using Cagford and all of that takes more than 1 week, Sam. Like about 10 years. Really nail it in every key.
Yeah, I think so.
But the great thing about those things is it reinforces your chord shapes. Like, they're kind of arpeggios, so they're, and then if you. You just add in little leading notes to them, so you kind of, and that's the way you kind of, you get to a scale coming from the arpeggio rather than just starting with a scale out the blue.
Di Murray, did you have a question? You were unmuted for a second.
No, I didn't have a question. I was just agreeing with what Janine said.
Mhm.
Like it takes more than 1 night.
Mm.
Yeah.
I suppose I just want to clarify. Well, I've got this thought, and I want to clarify that I've got it right. This is not something that you lead in with. This is something that's up your sleeve. When you're, say, doing part A and a third time, this is the sort of fruity stuff that you can pull out to change the repetition that you've got of your A or of your B.
And I suppose, like in a orchestra, you could have, people strumming and people doing,
Very much so.
like it'll be a nice mix kind of, and it doesn't have to be exactly that pattern, but just some kind of. But yeah, if you're playing on your own, you probably wouldn't start with it, but it will go really well with strumming. Yeah, if you had half Montunoing and half.
But even though we've said that it's more done on a piano, I mean, you could do that on a clarinet or a repetitive melody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that you sort of lose into the rhythm of the song rather than it detracting from the melody of the song.
It's really good fun playing with a bass, just because you're doing completely different things.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
now we're even going to take a deeper dive, folks, and we're going to the whole half diminished scale.
Wow.
Is there? So this is the whole. If this is the whole half diminished scale, is there? Can we just learn half of the half diminished scale? Is that? Is that what it is?
That's what I did this afternoon to try and learn it. Learnt the bottom half, learnt the top half.
And
So,
I suppose
but-
the whole thing is, why the hell would we want to learn this scale, Sam?
I'll let you go through it when we do it, but while we're on this song, the diminished scales just fit so perfectly. One of the
Sorry, can you just tell us what does whole and when I asked a stupid question, but what does whole and half mean? Diminished. What are the three words? We know what the word scale is.
whole step and half step. It's basically a symmetrical scale where it goes up a whole step, then a half step, then a whole step, then a half step, and just keeps going. It's one of the few.
And that is a diminished scale.
Yeah, just
So we don't have to call it the whole half. We could just call it
Well,
diminished.
actually, sorry, Sam, I put those words in front because once I started researching diminished scales, there's actually half whole diminished scales.
Ooh.
So there's different types of diminished. So I decided to use the whole half so that folk would know which one we're talking. There are 3 diminished scales I found out. You know when you go down those stupid...
Yeah. I suppose there's modes of the diminished scale.
Yeah.
Because basically, in terms of using this scale, like it's most of the time you actually just use the arpeggio with a few scale notes in, like the whole scale's a bit kind of what the hell is it? It kind of hasn't got a lot of character because it's just this kind of. But the diminished arpeggio, it's got a real. Would you agree that it's got a kind of sound to it? Rather than, the whole scale is just kind of a bit too, but it's good to know it because sometimes you need a few extra notes. So that's been, but
Just
sorry,
to
you
let
go,
people
Jane.
know, the arpeggio he's talking about is the top line, and the full scale is the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I think Sam just wants us to focus on the arpeggio more.
Well, if you get to know the arpeggio really well, which is what you'll probably use more than the scale, then the scale's just like adding in a semitone before each note of the arpeggio. But should we just play the arpeggio a few times? Is that a good idea? Do you want maybe you lead it, Jane?
I'll lead it because that way it'll be slow.
Yes, yeah.
Except
I've had too many coffees tonight.
You are Melbourne. But would we do the diminished chord first?
Yeah, do the diminished
And
chord.
then-
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Sorry, I'm not so good at it going down. So
Yeah,
we'll do it at
let's
that
just go.
speed.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So we'll do. Sorry, we'll do the chord. 2, 3, now. Was that okay, folks?
I just wanted to say, I just recognized that from in the Cats musical, they have the McCavity theme song. McCavity.
You might not have original sound on, John.
Oh, sorry.
It
I
fades out
didn't
occasionally.
turn that on.
But John, I was also going to say that I love it when you've got a diminished chord in a song and you've got a little bit of time and you're on the bass. Then it's quite lovely and symmetrical. Like you just creep up for the next string and you creep up, and it's almost the same on the uke, but it's not quite. You have to do a bit of a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is good fun. I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the disadvantage on the ukulele is the whatever you call that when it goes to the E string, the relationship. Anyhow, blah.
So, Sam, shall we play it one more time, folks? One more time at that speed, just nice and slow, right? We'll play the chord 2, 3 chord, and then we'll play the scale now. And why? When would we use that? Sam?
Why would we use it? Well, we can use that exact. I think in those notes I said the obvious place to use a diminished scale or arpeggio is when there's a diminished chord or arpeggio in the song. So there's one. We get one in Mac the Knife. So we get there's one in there that we can use it for, but I'd like to try it in the other song we can use it in is Sway, and we get a little bit more time on Sway, so I reckon that might be a better place to start with it. But so might be going, well, there's no actual diminished, on the chart it doesn't say diminished anywhere, but you can use the diminished over a 5 chord. So, when you've got a 5-1 progression, and particularly if it's in a minor key, because you've got that harmonic minor-y kind of sound already. So it just fits like a. I'll just try and play a little bit of Sway with the diminished. That kind of diminished sound, and the reason it works is so our chord is B7, but we're actually using A diminished. That we're stealing from the A diminished scale, because the notes of the A diminished scale just are all the kind of good notes of B7. So that's the annoying thing. We don't want to actually use B diminished. So you've just got to think, okay, whatever 7 chord I'm playing, if you just go down a tone, say, okay,
you build.
So I'm playing F7, so I'm going to use the A diminished, I reckon we start with an A diminished arpeggio. 2. Then that leads you back to the E minor, sorry.
B7 you meant.
Didn't you mean a B7 on
Sorry, what did I say?
You said
F7.
F7.
So, do we just go, can I just ask, so if we're at B7, does that mean you just go down a tone and that's the one you use?
It's a B7, so the 7 in the B7 is the A, and that's where you build the diminished chord on. But it also makes me think of, there is, hang on. There's an A diminished. There's the A note that makes it an A diminished. But if you take your finger off there, then you're back at a B7 with no B. If you take
That's right. Yeah, it's got so many notes in common. It's too good not to miss.
So I just want to repeat that for everybody to make sure we've got that point. Just hang on, okay?
Right, I'm just thinking.
So the diminished scale that you use is going to be a tone down from the chord.
Beautifully put, yeah.
Right?
And
a tone.
The only note of difference, Sam, is the one that it was really quite critical to the Montuno. Ba-do-do-ba-da, because you're going up to that C note.
Yeah, the C
and
note,
then back to the B. Yeah, so there's a lot of different relationships there.
But the C note...
Yeah, and it's funny, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I think it's good you just kind of go, okay, well, the easy way to remember is just, I'm doing whatever my 5 chord is, the chord I'm wanting to use it on, just sink down a tone and then use that diminished arpeggio. I reckon what you could try is just, we could play that arpeggio twice and then just play an E minor chord just to kind of hear that
Resolution.
how it kind of resolves. Yeah.
Actually, Sam, I wonder if Mark should get on bass and I'll do
because
chords, and you guys do it at home. You know what I mean? Because you'll have the bass holding you down, and so that'll make it really clear that can work. You know, so if we just do sway, and you just you folk at home just chuck in that diminished arpeggio every time we hit a B7. Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon.
Yeah. And then just go back to E minor when it's E minor, but then get back on the harp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do that because I think the bass would really make it.
It
better.
does. It makes all the notes kind of a bit more relevant.
Okay if I do an A diminished instead of a B7?
No, you have to play a B. You're not allowed to play diminished.
I think she's just sidelining me. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Right. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
So Sam, you better mute, and we'll.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. And you.
So it'll probably come up.
Yeah, I'm going to exactly. All right. Straight in from the B notes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Or warm up with a bit of the melody. That's another one, and then go diminished. Yeah.
Well, whatever you want, because it's what you want to do. You know, you guys are fine. Whatever you do. I'm just doing chords. He's just doing bass. So you can play around with that. In fact, hey Sam, just another question. Should we just stay on the A? It only works on the A. When you go to the G7 in the B section, do you use F diminished? The F arpeggio?
Not really, because we're not kind of that's kind of the start of a little trickle down to, like, you could use it at the end of that. I mean, you probably could, but it's not quite as obvious.
Yeah, right.
But I know what you're getting at, and we might talk about that in.
Sam and Sam. I mean, not Sam.
Okay, so
It's a bit dark for that bit. It's a bit kind
because
of.
that bit's really light.
That's where you want a bit of a break from the diminished sound there.
So what I'm going to do then, in that case, I'm just going to stay on the A section, guys.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just staying on A, right? I'm not going to the B.
And maybe tomorrow night, Beck and Al, we should do sway, and you could do solos on stage.
Actually, Jane, I reckon play it, and when we get to that bit, because we'll need a relief from it, like everyone can just play play the melody or whatever you like, because that's the nice thing is hearing the kind of contrast between the.
Okay, sure. I'll just play the whole song. Right.
Yeah, and so diminish when for the B7s. Yeah.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Maybe step back. That's better.
To the B section. Another B. A, sorry. A. I meant to say B7.
good on the bass though. Like
What were you doing?
I was starting to incorporate some notes of the diminished scale just into a little bit.
It's not about you, honey. It's about them, all right? I was saying, just play it straight, play it straight.
That's
Nothing like a husband and wife team, is there?
that's good fun though, playing with that diminished scale. But,
Yeah, I looked up and everybody was so engrossed. I thought, oh, let's go another
was
round.
everyone diminishing to their heart's content?
Any comments, folks? Let's hear it.
I was, but it sounded awful.
Maybe you're doing the wrong one, Chris. Were you doing the right one?
I was just playing that A diminished thing.
On
So-
the where? But where, John? Where, Chris?
Everywhere it sounded wrong.
No,
No.
no.
Half the time it
That's
sounded
it.
good, half the time it sounded crap.
Yes,
But I don't know what the difference was.
What?
it's got to be on the B7 chord.
It's on the, when you go to the E minor, you've got to fiddle around doing something else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
back
basically
onto the diminished with and a B7 diminished sounds absolutely brilliant when you
Yes.
when you hit it.
Yes.
the
Well,
all
anyway.
bets are off when you get to the E minor. It's like but the other thing is you can do you can just put in some of the actual diminished. I ended up doing. So that's just your diminished chord, kind of just moving it up, and then because you get a bit sick of running the arpeggio, so that's a nice thing to kind of add in every now and then.
And, we actually could have made that exercise incorporating Montuno as well.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, it kind of does.
Too much.
It is. There is a link. Yeah. But
I found the link.
the other, does anyone know that song? Well, we won't play it. But does anyone know that tune, Caravan? Da.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one, classic one where you just, you got a lot of the 5/7 chord to the resolving to the minor, so you can go diminished. Go diminished crazy.
And just to clarify, it's minor songs. The one needs to be a minor.
Not all, just. Sorry. Do you want to go, Mark?
No.
What I was going to say is you can use them on the, going to the 5 for the one, but they tend to just be like a colour you put in at the last minute, like not for 2 whole bars, kind of. So I probably want to, maybe I did sneak a bar of it in there, but
Yeah, but you put it over the A. Didn't you just put it over the A dim?
it was actually over I was actually putting it over the D7.
Oh, okay, great.
It's often these things, often the real kind of nice thing is when you're playing an arpeggio, but it's not actually the official chord, because you got that right and wrong. That's kind of where the fun stuff is a bit. And it's same with bass players. You play chords that aren't on the chart, and it kind of sounds better. If everyone's kind of playing the same chords and arpeggiating the same chord, it's kind of quite a staid sound. But yeah, so it can work. It does work in a 5 chord. What's another? Yeah. So in that little bit of Mac the Knife, we can do it. And then there's the official
Sorry,
diminished.
Sam, what chord are you playing over? What chord were you playing that over?
So that's that's G7. So what
And what-
diminished would we want?
Be an
F7.
F,
I mean F diminished.
yeah. And then, but you don't have to start it on an F note. You can start it on, because the notes all just repeat every 3 fret. You can just start it on
Yes.
any one
It's
of
such
those
a
notes.
delicious device. It's so
Yeah.
good, actually.
And
Yeah, it just
also-
really breaks up the.
it's quite emblematic of a jazz nerd, I think. Sam.
Yeah, and but that's the fun thing. It is putting it in where it isn't written as a chord. So you're putting it in as a substitute.
Do you
and
have
that's
to
where.
Do you have to take heroin as well at the same
Mark,
time?
Shut up. Somebody get this man. Oh, I can.
No comment. No comment. So, I mean, do you want to try, like in Mac the? Do you want to try a bit of Mac the Knife?
I think we should.
Because I mean, there's the obvious bit where. There's the official diminished chord in like the second
Between
half
the
of
C
it.
and the D minor.
It's like an A diminished, A circle. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. And one down too.
Here it comes. A minor, A diminished. Yeah, so between the A minor and the D minor.
So, what if we played this song really? Mark and I played it really slowly, chords and bass. But look, am I being too anal here? But it's mostly in C. Until we get to that diminished section, really. I'm sort of curious as to what you would recommend people do until we get to that diminished stuff, you know? Like, I suppose the G7 we can do the diminished, the A diminished and the C sharp diminished, but what else do you recommend they do in a song?
Oh, you mean up the front of it?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon just what we've been doing, like, play around with it. I mean, if you want, the official notes are kind of the C scale, but, it's kind of better to use the kind of rhythmic things and playing around the melody, like use all that. But if you want scale notes, yeah, it's just C scale, and then because all those notes are in the kind of C chord, and then we're going to put our diminished in there. Where it's not wanted.
Let's play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see
Okay.
what questions arise.
Yeah.
Other than
And-
feed me, can you feed me, please?
Okay, so I'm just going to do the A and B, and I might do them twice, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So I'll just do the A and the B twice through.
All right, so the two spots to watch out for, or that we can get one in, is after the after the D minor seventh, just before it goes back, or over the G7, just before the C, halfway through. Does that make sense? Or I'm not actually looking at the chart.
But just to clarify, that's the F diminished over the G7.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so here it is. Sorry, I just look at yeah. So just it's kind of on it's like the seventh bar, sixth bar. Sorry.
Okay.
And then also on the second half where it is actually officially a diminished chord. So it's an officially an A diminished chord, so we can legally use the A diminished. We don't have to kind of rethink it. But
I've got to think about the C sharp dim. Yeah, so I'll just go like.
oh, okay, there's a little one. I reckon let's not worry too much about, because you only get so short that one.
Yeah.
But
Right, cool. Okay, so I'll play it. We'll play it
okay.
together really slowly. We're your backing band, folks, and we'll do
Right.
it really slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here it comes. The B. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is that slow enough, folks? I didn't.
The cat was
I know
stressing
the
me
cat
out.
is very annoying.
I'll feed the cat.
Hey,
Is
there was another spot. Did
Yeah.
anyone think of another spot where it's a really juicy spot for one? It's like the G7 on the kind of third last bar.
Oh, because you've got it going into a
Yeah.
C.
So it's exactly the same as you know, it's the same as the 6 bar. So yeah, wherever you've got that 5-1.
Can I ask whether I've got the F diminished right? But it kind of has the G7 shape, but up on like a G sharp 7 shape. Yeah.
So I think that. Do you know that?
I was doing it down in the home position and finding that I'm then going from the E to the F sharp and up to the C, and it just seemed really convenient that that fits nicely over the G7 shape.
So
And I'm figure out why that works.
It's actually if you do that G7
Mm.
and you just put that first finger on the. Oh, sorry. So if you play a G7 and then you just add that first finger to the first fret of the 4th string, that's like an F diminished chord or a. So that's the one, and then you can move that up.
Okay. So I was clearly out by half a semitone.
Yeah, look, it's confusing. It's like,
Yeah. I'm just gonna go back to my phone.
It's the same as we said in Sway, where the B7 shape. Sorry. So the B7 shape was this, and it was only adding on a finger. It doesn't make quite mathematical sense, but that was. So there's a B7, a type of B7. It's not a very good B7, and then if I do add on the finger, I have got an A diminished, which is, and so it's the same thing with the G7. If I do a G7 and you're saying that I want an F diminished, when I add my one finger on, it's an F diminished. Looks like I need to.
Yeah, Beck, as long as because when you're playing that G7, you've got an F note in it, so you're basically 3/4 of the way there. You just need to add that extra note. So if you did, say if you did G7 up here, all we have to do is add that extra note, and look, it always just forms that shape. That's another way of thinking of it. It's just there's no other. It's great on the ukulele. Just so as long as you're in that shape, you're right. You know, you can be on the wrong fret, but that shape is, and because there's that D7, G7 there where it's 4 5 3 5. So if you make it 4 5 4 5, that's the right one. That's the one we want. Does that kind of make sense?
It's always a semitone away between the two. The dominant 7 to the diminished is a semitone. It's only one semitone on one of the strings.
That's right. It's just, and what it is, it's the flat 9. You're adding in the flat 9. So, but it just miraculously they always form that, you know, whether it's 1 2 1 2 or 4 5 4 5, they always form that shape by some miracle.
It's Jesus. Jesus is at work. Clearly.
I've got. We're coming to a close, but I've got one more thought, and that maybe we should go to Autumn Leaves and look at where we can add that diminished scale into that song too.
Yeah, there'd be hundreds. It's good. Does anyone like the diminished scale? It is good. No, it's good. It's great that you're all still here and haven't.
Could you do some sort of example that we can have a look at that's like the homework that you want us to do. So we get a specific example of saying, this is what I want you to do.
I reckon what we should do is like try. Do you think like just try and you could probably pick which song, either use Mac the Knife or Sway, and just demonstrate knowledge of the appropriate diminished scale.
Well, you can do it in Autumn Leaves too. You can also do it in Autumn Leaves. So yeah, you could choose your song, but just show us.
But yeah, I can put a little. Do you want me to put a little example on Facebook or something, or is that what you mean? Or?
Yeah, just see, you had the example up of how to do Mac the Knife, showing, you put your. Actually, you did the Autumn Leaves example of add a note, add extra notes, add a chord, etc. But just something to show we know what type of thing we're expected to do, whether we're meant to just do an improvisation or.
It's an improv, and let's say the homework is to incorporate more chords, closed chords, more of them, and
Closed, right, yeah.
if you choose to, maybe to chuck in a diminished arpeggio where it's appropriate.
So
So
you
that-
want chords in, so you're taking out the instrumental solo, if you like.
Well, the chords are part of your instrumental solo. So most people did it, but now we really want more. Well, we want it to be a target. I never asked for it last time, and you guys incorporated a few of them. So,
Like maybe one form round, it might just be easier just to concentrate on getting a diminished scale in there, because sometimes you have to think ahead to, okay, it's coming up now, and it can be hard to think of if you're kind of trying to do something groovy in the first part and then.
well,
and
what
then
we could do is the first part could be melodic, and the second part could be chordal, a bit more chords. Maybe, I don't know. It's not too. It doesn't have to be so prescriptive.
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah.
Just whatever you sort of want to do. But if it was me, I would want to now put in diminished arpeggio.
Yeah.
It's like, just in one place, just one little place.
On the on the C7, that second chord, that's
wait.
the 5. Because this song is a continual circle
Yeah,
of
but
5
that's-
ones, isn't it?
No, it's
Sort
not.
of, or 4
No.
ones. So, but on that
No.
C7, could we do a B flat diminished?
Sorry, what song were you talking about?
Okay, we're
Autumn
talking about
Leaves.
Autumn
Oh,
Leaves.
okay, yeah.
Because it's going to a fourth, love. It's going.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just.
I actually wonder whether we might be better just spending a few more minutes on Macklin, just so people really know where to put it in there. Like,
Oh, okay.
all I thought is, what do people think? I just thought Autumn Leaves is a bit of another can of worms. Oh, not a can of worms, but
I agree, Sam.
Yeah,
you think?
but
Is that what do people
Autumn Leaves
think?
is-
I'm happy to go either
If
way,
I
but
can- Yeah, but I just want to say it's obvious where it goes in Autumn Leaves.
oh, okay, yeah.
A7 leading to a D minor. It's like clang. There's your 5/7 to your 1, which is a minor. On the second line, you've got an A7.
Could you also use it though in the 5 to 7, like the C7 to F? You could
That's
use
what
the B flat diminished scale
I'm just
there as
gonna
well.
get
Yeah, I
it.
know you said that. I know you
Because
said
it's like it's changing key almost.
Is that the key we're in?
we're in
D minor.
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
not going. Oh, I
there's
see.
2 spots you could use it in there, like do diminished, not here, here, diminished, not diminished. So there's 2 spots
Yeah,
there,
two spots. Exactly where Mark said and where I said exactly,
so-
and where
yeah. Hey,
John
you're the diminished spotters.
Yeah. So the
I-
C7 that going to the F major 7, and then the A7 going to the D minor.
And then
Is,
everything else could just be tritone substitutions.
Oh! What? you two have been studying all week or something. But Chris, does that kind of like with that Mac the knife? Did that make sense where to kind of put it?
Wherever the diminished, wherever the seventh is, you can put the diminished. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Apart from the actual diminished chord itself. Yeah.
Yeah, but just whether we're going to rehash what we did last week and just introduce those changes, or whether we go to a different song and try and
I reckon. What do you reckon, Jane and Mark? That you could do it in. I mean, you can fit them in all those three songs. So the easiest one, the most obvious one, is Sway, just because you got. So you could do that, or Mac the Knife, or Autumn Leaves, depending on how.
Yeah,
I reckon but yeah, the brief should be get some diminished in there.
Yeah, and don't worry about. We just assume that you will probably use inversions.
Yeah, you'll use inversions anyway because everybody
and
did.
if you don't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My preference is I've invested a bit of time in learning Mac the Knife, and I don't want to learn another tune now and try and figure out diminished things like that. So I'd actually like to build on what I've done and then figure out, okay, we've learned a lot tonight. How can we actually fit that into what we did and perhaps produce something a little bit different?
I totally agree, Al. We've got those three songs. And there's some of you, Trish, I think you chose a different song than those three. But so up to you, what do you do? But like you said, Al, we're just going deeper into the same songs. We're not, but we are doing something different because now we've got the diminished scale. We know we've got a picking pattern that we can use in places. Even on Autumn Leaves, you could use Montuno if you wanted to.
The fun's just beginning now. We've got the diminished scale.
Yeah, we've got a different picking pattern, and we have talked about the Cagford, the chords up the neck. So any demonstration of those three things in your pre-existing improv would be great.
And I think something that came to me as I looked at all the things was, I watched Susan's and it was like, oh, she's used all these chords and it just sounds so gentle and wonderful, and I was just totally devastated when I put mine up. And then I suddenly heard everybody else, and I thought everyone else got a different interpretation on this.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful to hear all these different ways that people are putting together the same tune and the same thing. And at the end of it, I thought, oh, actually, it's pretty good. We all came to it a different way. Yeah.
Everyone's really trying to put. You can really hear people trying to put what we've been doing in, which is great. They're not just going on the kind of normal way, but you can hear so many people putting those great chords in, which you don't hear enough of in ukulele solos. Those kind of so no, really good.
So is that okay, Chris? Is that clear? Is that all right? Robinson, sorry, Chris Robinson.
Yeah, I'll just see what I can do. I'll try and squeeze the diminished in. I don't know about the Montuno one getting in there, but I'll try and get the diminished in.
Yeah. I mean the Montuno is just something to slowly practice, and it's not actually hard putting it in you. It's more just getting the pattern and the timing of it. So I reckon if you just practice that as it is with that kind of nerdy video, you can slow it down and stuff. And then it's actually putting it into a song's really just a matter of finding the chords. So that it's not so much the challenge with that one. It's more just kind of learning it with the right hand picking.
Ruth, can I just stop you? Ruth.
Yeah, look, sorry, I probably I'm being a bit thick here, but can I just, only because I'm looking at Autumn Leaves, I get that I'm supposed to use a diminished scale on the after the second chord, after that C7, between the C7 and the F major 7, but I don't know which diminished.
Good point.
So can I answer that one?
Please.
It's, I think, I might be wrong, but the C7, it's, as John said, it's not a 5 to the 1, is it? So the C7, the 7 of the C is a B flat, so then you make a B flat diminished.
Yeah.
Am I correct, Sam?
Yeah, and the reason it works there is because it's a 5. C's the 5 going to the F, so there's your 5-1 therefore we use the diminished over the 5. And it's C diminished, so we use
Oh, it is. It is a
a
5.
C7, so we use the B flat.
So it's not between. You're substituting it, Ruth. You're putting.
Yeah.
So that's where I got confused, because at
Subtract
some
the
point
tone.
someone said you take the chord and then you go a tone below that, and now you've just told me something different, and now I'm even more confused.
No, but it's not. You're not.
Same.
It's a C7 chord, right?
Yes.
It's a C7 chord, and so you build the relevant diminished chord on that 7. So
Right.
the 7 of the C is B flat.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah, right.
Yeah. All right. So we're basically saying the same thing in 2 different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Chris, wait.
All right.
Chris, wait. Pipe up. What do you got to say?
Whatever you're on.
No,
No,
Chris,
no,
wait.
no,
Sorry,
not-
Chris,
Oh,
wait.
sorry.
Sorry, we'll go to you,
Can I
Chris,
ask a
afterwards.
question? So when you take that B flat diminished scale,
Louder, Chris, please. Just get
when you take that B flat diminished scale, you want the B flat in the as the root of the chord, do you? So
Well,
Sam,
it's funny.
get-
All you need is the note. Like, it doesn't even matter if you don't actually play a B flat note. It's just that's where you're getting your notes from. So it's like, say, playing a pentatonic scale, but you don't play the C.
Okay.
You know, you're just grabbing the notes from that. That's your source of notes. So whatever the chord
Clarify,
is.
you're saying that the B diminished arpeggio is where you're grabbing the notes from.
flat.
B
B
flat,
flat.
sorry. B flat diminished arpeggio, right? Sam.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so whatever our 7th chord is, F7, we'd grab our notes from the E flat diminished chord. If it's so, in this case, it's C7. So we think of a B flat diminished chord, and those notes will work beautifully over C7.
but it doesn't matter which inversion of the B
No,
flat
and it's
diminished.
better. Yeah, it's better if you don't kind of have a predictable inversion. It's kind of they sound great doing things like, you know, where you kind of start high and you go down 4 notes and back up 3, and you know those kind of patterns. Is it really very kind of horror movie? But that gets you a little bit more mileage out of the, you know, rather than just going. But I reckon for a while, even if you just put in an arpeggio, just to get the feel of, you know, so you're going. And it's like the more you play it, you kind of you get to the end, you go, oh shit, I've got to get to a note that works. So you end up doing, you know, little funny thing. You kind of want to lead nicely to that chord you're resolving. If I just go like that, and that's where that's where a semitone a semitone comes in handy. It doesn't have to relate to anything, but just be a vehicle to get you to a nice note for the F chord. So that's that'd be a good thing to try, is when you're doing those, is just try and just kind of finish on the first beat of the chord you're resolving to.
And then what were you going to say?
Just so you know, and then you can really hear that you've nailed it.
Yeah. Janine Shearer? Oh, no, she's frozen. No, she hasn't frozen.
Frozen. I was writing. So I was going to say, Ruth, you know, when we go from C to F, we go C, C7 to F, and the C7 is like a passing chord. So if the C7 is 3, 4, 3, 3, then the diminished is the B flat diminished is exactly the same chord, but with the 3, 4, 3, 4, right? So it's like a passing chord to get to F. So instead of going C7 to F, we go C7. There's the diminished, and it's kind of literally just taking our ear with that one note. So it's just that one note taking us to the next chord. Same with the A7 to D minor. It's just a passing chord. A7, then I add the diminished to get the G diminished down. Then I'm on D minor. So it's like a passing chord.
You always get that shape. It always falls back to that shape. So which is great.
I think what would be useful would be to have those diminished arpeggios written out in other keys. I think for me, that's all,
You
you
know,
know, like, and
There's only 3.
Well, actually,
And
what I
know,
will
but when
do,
you said B flat, I said, oh shit, where's that one?
what I
You
will
know?
do, I don't think I need to. No offense, I don't think I need to write them in other keys. I need to put the finger numbers on them.
Yes.
That way, we know that wherever. Do you know what I mean? Like, put the finger numbers then we know that how to play it wherever it is. If that's, I'm going to rewrite that sheet. No,
It's really good. Just for my own little mathematical brain,
No.
I need to write it.
I
need
did
to
work
write
out
it
one useful thing today, just which was because I was trying to work out this whole diminished thing, and so I ended up going 1 4. So you can go kind of like 1 4, then you
1 4.
switch and go a long one, but then you can come down like that. I think.
Don't worry, I've worked it out. I've worked out the fingers too.
It's
Yeah.
oh, hang on. So I was kind of there, but I just didn't know when to use it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see what I do with it. Yeah, but
the way a lot of people practice these things is they just take you do a 2-5-1 and you go round in different keys, which you go. So we might do that 2 times. So we're going D minor, plonky, plonky. Then when you do that, so you kind of some kind of improvisation on the D, and then when you get there, always do that same one, and then do it in another key.
Great.
So that way you kind of,
A little example of that recorded would be great for us just to practice on to get some fluency.
D minor.
It's not a song.
Yeah. Well, and like a pattern. I know what I might do is
in iReal Pro, Sam, already?
if I write a pattern like that, I mean it's just an arpeggio, but then you can just plonk that exactly in Mac the Knife in 2 spots, and Autumn Leave in probably a couple of spots as well. That's probably a good way to go.
Okay. So, all right, to finish the night, would you just I think we should just play through Autumn Leaves once. We'll be your backing band. You guys improvise. Just so that you leave playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't want to leave on an evil nerd.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave on an evil diminished scale.
Yeah, diminished nightmares.
Yeah. We'll just, so, do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. We can't hear. But Mark and I will be the backing band.
For what? Autumn Leaves?
Autumn Leaves.
We'll all be dying on a railway track tonight. Sliced up by a train.
If Sam wanted to stay unmiked and just do a bit of loud jazz.
I don't think that. I was thought that before you, like half a second before you, and thought.
No?
No, probably.
Right, okay. Work. Okay. Sorry, mute Sam. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. miss you. night. So your homework is to improvise on any of one of those 3 songs or a song of your choice. To incorporate a few more chords if you didn't already. To incorporate a diminished arpeggio, not the scale. Remember,
If you
it's an
want to do the
arpeggio.
scale, go for it.
All I was going to say with every now and then you just use one. Like I quite often do this instead of. I sometimes just put one note on the first, and it's just, I don't even have to think of it as a scale. It's just sometimes, sometimes an arpeggio gets you there a bit quickly, so you're just chucking in that, and
On the scale.
yeah, so I'm just putting
you're
in one
talking
extra
about
note.
scale.
Yeah, so that, I mean, technically that's a note of scale, but I'm just going, it's another note. I could go. I could fill in all the notes between. It's like, that it's just sometimes you want to kind of get there a bit slower. So that's when you add in notes, and if your ear will tell you if they're not good.
So this podcast will continue for another 3 hours, but you can log in later for it if you like.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, gang.
Hey,
Thank
well done.
you.
Well
gang.
done for
Really
surviving
good.
the diminished
much.
scale.
Thanks very much.
Amazing.
Thanks,
Montuno.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark and Jane, as well.
Thanks, everybody.
Nice.
I forgot to play them that train. There's a great train introduction that uses, anyway, another time.
We've said that before.